Alright, this is my review on Tim Allen's Santa Claus. So, Tim Allen starts out like is like this some kind of salesperson who sells stuff for, especially stuff for Christmas, and that's the biggest time around the year. And so, and he's someone who doesn't believe in Santa Claus, and he makes the excuse that him and his mom doesn't believe that they're Santa Claus because they were naughty when they were kids, and he comes with his lunch, and I'm not sure if Charlie buys it or not, but that's his boy's name, Charlie, and during the middle of the night, Charlie says Santa Claus is on the roof, and Tim Allen scares Santa Claus off the roof, and his main character's name is Scott, and Charlie says, "You killed him! You killed Santa Claus!" This is not Santa Claus. And he says, "Why the heck does he have these aren't reindeers? These are, I guess, Merry Christmas, Charlie." And he puts on his suit, and they go off delivering presents all to every place on one night, and Tim Allen's like grumpy Tim Allen, and mention how it says there's one girl, Santa Claus is lactose intolerant, and the reindeers bring them home, and alright, and there's like this stupid pole thing where we see this little girl and says, and then she pulls up this like pole and thing, and she says, "What the heck is that supposed to be?" And Charlie sings, "I think that's the North Pole." That's the North Pole. And it's like, you gotta be kidding. So it turns out that the North Pole is this big factory that's underneath all of this ice and snow. And we see all of the elves working that played by kids. That's not creepy at all. Well, see, Santa Claus is not like, I can see why he just likes kids, but he must be natural at them. Oh, he can do natural, he can like rehearse, he must rehearse delivering the kids presents every year to all the elves. What, that's not dirty. And so Charlie goes off hanging out with the oldest elf, and he says the other Santa Claus fell off the suit, fall off of the roof, didn't he? And he says, "Wait a minute, you're talking to that guy?" And he says, you got the card, right? Okay, let me explain what the card says. Putting on the suit means your responsibility means you're entitled to the Santa Claus. Once the Santa Claus dies, you put on the roof. If is dead or missing, or this so blah blah blah. He says, look, basically, when you put on the suit, you're the big guy. That's what it basically means. And he says, what if I choose not to believe this? Then you would have like millions of kids sad around the world. You won't want that, Santa, right? and he says, I'll send the list to your room. And he says, what list? And they sing Santa Claus is coming down. And they sing, you know, the list. He's checking, he's making a list. And then Charlie sings, he's checking it twice. And then all the other else's, the young elf says, Santa Claus is coming to town. And the old wife was like, oh. Lexi's heard that song too many times. So, he goes in the room. Next day, he's at his house. And he has the list brought to his house, and it's a long list. He keeps on telling himself everything that happened that night was just a dream, and Charlie keeps on trying to convince him that he is Santa Claus. And all these kids line up, and the scene when all the kids line up, and he gets, like, as he's growing a beard and getting fatter, the all kids line up and tell him this voluntary what they want for Christmas, and they ask, and he's like he says when he brings Charlie for, he says what, and eventually they think that Scott is crazy and thinks that he's Santa Claus when he really doesn't think that he's Santa Claus at all, and Charlie keeps on telling this her mom and this psychiatrist that he is Santa Claus and explains how it all works. And he's like, oh my god, the kid's crazy, the kids like, and seeing the kids lose, and you see him like playing with reindeers as Santa Claus in his room. And I don't see how the mother doesn't think it's cute. She just thinks it's creepy. So the kid's pretending that he's Santa Claus. So I say that's a healthy thing. It's not like he's skinning puppies. That's when you should get concerned. So anyway, eventually you can't see us see him, and can't see, and he goes to this house to say goodbye to Charlie, and he keeps on telling Charlie that he's not Santa Claus, and the parents who's the therapist and who's married to the mother says, Charlie, he is not Santa Claus. He is too. You don't want to like let all those kids down, Dad. Remember, and he throws him the snow globe and he remembers and he sees like him and his son like grinding on the sleigh, and he says, "Thanks, Charlie." And he starts realizing that he realized that he is Santa Claus. And he goes to the elves and gets his suit ready, and then says, "What happens?" That's all great, fireproof and everything. But what happens if I fall off a roof? And the cops, and he's wanted by the cops because he's seeing Santa Claus thinking he's not. So, the one about him while he's doing presents, and Charlie comes with him to deliver presents, and Comet gives him something in case if he falls off a roof. a little card, and just says a little card, and says, "It's just in case if I fall off a roof." Thanks, Comet. and Comet's just like, no, just like, yeah. And he goes to this little girl's house that he went to last year's, and she's saying, this is not what kind of rose is this? You say you were like so tall. I said that, didn't I? And he says, "You look much better this year, and you sound a lot more like yourself. I feel a lot better too this year." And so, and one of this house, the kids come to beat him to the house, and the arrest Santa Claus, and the kids are all sad, and they totally Santa Claus alone, and he says, "It's gonna be okay, kids." While they're interrogating Santa Claus, he kept on asking, "Okay, I know you're not Santa Claus. You know you're not Santa Claus. So who are you?" "Kris Kringle, Papa Gilio, Saint Nicholas." And the elves come to bust Santa out of prison. And they say to this cop, "Where your worst name is, what else was attitude?" And they wrap him all out like a Christmas present. And Charlie comes along with them. And Charlie goes to get dropped off by his dad at his mom's house. And he says, "I can't be selfish, Charlie." And Charlie says, "I can't be selfish too. I want to go with you." And he says, "Charlie, you made me Santa Claus. You're not selfish." And then the mother realized that he really is Santa Claus. And then the psychiatrist who is married to the mother realized that he's really Santa Claus. And he goes off with Charlie to deliver Christmas present because, and realized that he's like really Santa Claus, and he gives them the Christmas present they never got when they were kids. One was a doll and one was a weenie whistle to the mother, and the third, so when whenever he wants to see his dad, he can always just shake the gold snow globe, and the oldest elf actually tells him this. So and tells him to early on the phone, make sure you never lose it. And it's very important. It's very old like me, and so he shakes the snow globe. He was shaking the snow globe. He was only gone for like 12 minutes, and he misses his dad already, and he goes off to live his present with his dad, and because his mother says it was okay, and he says, "Scott, okay, you hear me, Scott? Just don't go too long, be gone too long. Scott, Santa," and that's how the movie ends. And we don't see that oldest elf in the third one for some reason. I don't know what happened. But we see him in the second one.